if you're looking for the easiest way to beat the brand new Grandmaster Nightfall Liminality, then you came to the right place. First things first, let's talk about loadouts. If we look at the modifiers for the Grandmaster, we see we have Overcharged Machine Gun, Void Surge, and Arc Surge, along with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. My favorite loadout, after testing a bunch of different stuff, was as follows. The Call Special Ammo Rocket Sidearm for the Unstoppable champions, because we of course have Unstoppable Sidearm. Graviton Lance, not just for the Barrier champions with Anti-Barrier Pulse Rifle, but because there are a ridiculous amount of Void Shields in this strike, especially in the boss room, on lower HP targets. So having a primary ammo weapon and a weapon that is strong with AoE ad clear like Graviton Lance to just rip off the Void Shields. The Void Shields plus the Graviton Lance exotic perk just blow up entire packs of enemies in the boss room and makes it so significantly safer. And finally, in the heavy slot, rocking and rolling with a machine gun of your choice. I love this commemoration. You could go retrofit Escapade if you want to. Your machine gun does not have to be Void or Arc to align with the surges because it is overcharged machine gun, so you can run whatever machine gun that you are most comfortable with. As far as loadouts for classes, if you're rocking and rolling with the Hunter, Invis Hunter is absolutely peak for this strike, whether you're going with Omnioculus, whether you're going with Graviton Forfeit, whether you're going with your Falcons. Invis Hunter is absolutely spectacular in this, and I highly recommend you bring a minimum of one on your fire team in venturing into this Grandmaster Nightfall. In terms of the actual subclass loadout, you can take a screenshot if you want to. I'll also have a written guide linked in the description that you can go and take a peek at. You can take a screenshot of that, but pretty simple. Main parts here are Trapper's Ambush, Vanishing Step, along with Obscurity, Starvation, and Persistence. And then I love the Deadfall Tether here as well. As far as mods go, you can just take a screenshot of what I have on right now. I have one solar resistance because there's a lot of night fire in the final boss room, and then I have a void resistance for the Tormentor Void Cleaves in the final boss room. Other than that, we have a Siphon for our Graviton Lance, Heavy Finder, and Scout. Couple arms mods to regenerate ability energy so we can continue to cycle our invis cooldowns. Also got some other ability regeneration mods down here on the boots, along with a Void Scavenger. You'll want to use a Scavenger for whatever your heavy ammo weapon is. Then we've got a Reaper and Double Bomber. If you're rocking and rolling on other classes, I've found that Titan is actually also amazing for this Grandmaster Nightfall. My buddy Steven was rocking and rolling with the standard Prismatic Titan build. Consecration Knockout absolutely obliterates Unstoppable champions. Having Shackle Grenade is really nice for a lot of the sections in the strike. And he found that Blade Fury was a great super to use. It's like a great panic pop super. Obviously, you have the Invis Hunters, which shouldn't really be dying, but in case they do, having Blade Fury to panic pop and have a ton of damage resistance to kind of like run around, kill a couple ads, and just survive until you're able to res your teammates ended up being really, really nice. If you're rocking and rolling on a Warlock, I would probably say pull up something like Feed the Void, maybe Song of Flame, and then maybe Bleak Watcher. But I think Hunters and Titans are probably going to be the best classes to run this on. I felt like they felt very, very strong. Getting into the strike after you get through the traversal area, this first room, you can completely skip this first area with Invis. You do not have to kill anything in here. You can kill a couple stuff on a couple of the guys on left side if you want, but you can literally just sprint past the majority of these enemies. There's no champions or anything like that, so you'll still get your platinum. And there's like nothing that you have to kill to actually progress the strike. You just have to run over to this back left side, kill the stuff that's, you know, kill the hive junk that's blocking you, and then you can go ahead and proceed. After you run through these tunnels a little bit, you'll run into a couple void shielded acolytes that the Graviton Lance will put to bed super quickly. Then you'll have a couple enemies on this left side, along with an unstoppable Phalanx that we're going to go ahead and drop real quick. Nice and simple, nothing crazy. Kill all the trash mobs, kill the Phalanx, and he is done. After you kill him, you can go ahead and proceed. No lava here like there is in the original strike. No wizard or anything like that. No relic that you have to deal with. You just kill that unstoppable taken Phalanx and you're good to go. Once you get past that, you're going to have some more Hive rubble. And here you have two options. You can either go left side or go right side. I always go right side because it's what I'm used to. I actually don't even know what left side feels like, but right side is pretty easy. You just go ahead and hop up on here, kill these two trash mob acolytes, and then we beam the Barrier Knight until he puts his shield up. Then we stun him, and then once we stun him, then I like to push up a little bit more, get into my effective range of my Graviton Lance a little bit more, and put him to bed. After we kill that Barrier Knight, next target is this Shrieker over here. Do have to kind of send one person up just a little bit to make it open. Team shot it real quick and put it to bed. Once you kill that, you'll notice there's another barrier knight on the left side here. You can skip him if you want to. You do not have to kill him for platinum. So I like skipping him, and you'll notice we have another shrieker right here. I like just making my entire fire team invis and running past that shrieker, running past those acolytes, and not even dealing with any of it. You'll still get platinum even if you skip that barrier knight, like I said. So playing it that way, playing the invis, makes it so you don't have to deal with the barrier knight, don't have to deal with some acolytes, don't have to deal with the shrieker. Nice and simple. So we're going to run up here, kill the next barrier knight. And then we're going to go ahead and make our way through these tiny corridors until what I consider to be the first room that is relatively challenging. So coming up on this room, you want to be a little careful as you're coming through this tunnel, because right when you hop out, you are going to have 3 Cursed Thrall kind of waiting for you. So you want to kind of remain airborne, make sure you don't get booby trapped by them or anything like that. After you kill those 3 Cursed Thrall, all 3 of the people on your team are going to push forward, kill all these enemies, kill all the acolytes, and try and spawn trap this sword knight along with the barrier knight. Tether is fantastic here. Kill all those guys, whatnot. Then what I like to do is I like to have 2 teammates that are focused on just killing all the enemies up here, all the wizards and stuff like that. And then 1 teammate that is focused on the Cursed Thrall that are going to be continuously spawning in the back of the arena. There are always going to be Cursed Thrall spawning back here, so I like having 1 person that's kind of focused on playing bodyguard. The 2 people that are frying at the front of the arena should still keep their head on a swivel, make sure there's not Cursed Thrall creeping up on them or anything like that in case the defender misses one. You're also going to have some Cursed Thrall that'll spawn out like these side doors in the front of the arena. But generally speaking, I like having 1 person that's like kind of dedicated to making sure that these Cursed Thralls stay dead so that nothing sneaks up on you. And then if your teammates do die, I'm the invis hunter, obviously, so pretty simple to go ahead and pull up over here, pop some invis cooldowns, get my teammates up, all that jazz. We'll go ahead and get my buddies up and let them go ahead and get back to business, do what they're doing. I'm just going to keep an eye, watch their back. The Cursed Thrall that do come and jump at you, they are pretty slow, so don't feel like you have to be staring back there the entire time. Can help them with the front adds a little bit. Just make sure that whoever's job it is to keep those Cursed Thrall at bay is always taking a peek back there like I am. Once you get to 2 Lucent Seals broken, you do want to be ready for this Hive Knight to spawn right here, and you want to spawn kill him for 2 reasons. One is that you just don't want to deal with that guy in his super mode, because those Hive Knights in super are extremely dangerous. 2 is that when you kill that guy and crush his ghost, you automatically despawn everything else in the arena other than the barrier knight that will spawn along with him for platinum. Now, after you're done with this room, you want to make sure your team is on the same page and extremely coordinated, because timing in this upcoming room is very important and has big implications for the rest of the strike. When we run forward here, we're going to run into a boss Lucent Hive Wizard, and we want to get the Lucent Boss Hive Wizard as weak as humanly possible without killing it. So we're going to run up and go and take a peek at it. I'll explain a little bit more why you want to do this as we get into the boss room of the strike, but we're going to beam it a little bit, get it nice in one shot. That's probably fine right there. And we're just going to let it go ahead and venture off, and eventually it'll just go ahead and disappear. Like I said, if you do end up accidentally killing it, it's okay. But the best possible situation you can put yourselves in is to just get that wizard weak. Like I said, we'll talk about why it's important a little bit later in the strike. I'll explain when we get there, but that'll make your life a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. Not worry about that. And we're going to... I totally thought that was an enemy. We're going to make our way through a couple other rooms. We're going to have an Unstoppable Taken Phalanx, some Void Shielded Acolytes. So go ahead and take care of them. Nothing crazy here. Nothing particularly dangerous. And then we're going to continue. Now, this room's a little interesting. The way I like to play this room is I like 2 of the players to just sit in this corner right here. Like, you guys aren't even going to shoot at anything. You're not going to aggro anything unless it runs to you. Reason being is because you're going to have a lot of enemies that spawn in this room. there's not a great place to stand in here for ad clear, but you don't really have to clear any of the ads. So I'm just going to have my teammates stay right there. And I'm going to take care of going ahead and getting the relics so that we can get past this room. Now, this room's a little different than it was in the original strike. Typically, you could just pick this up, and then you could jump at the platforms that appeared and jump through the ceiling. But now there is a taken barrier on the ceiling. And the only way to get rid of the taken barrier is to kill 3 groups of 3 taken eyes. So as you're working your way up, you're going to go ahead and take out all the eyes. And then that taken barrier will go ahead and despawn. Careful with jumping through, though. Visually speaking, it does persist about a second longer than it appears. So like when you see it despawn, don't think it's gone. Count to like 1 after you see the visual completely go away. And then you can go ahead and jump through. You also have to be a little bit quick with returning the gun, because the gun ammo counter will go down as you hold the weapon and as you shoot the weapon. So if you run out of time before you dunk it, you are going to have to go ahead and do the puzzle again. If you're not the best at jumping and shooting at the same time, another way you can go about this is just by picking up the taken gun and making your way up to the top as quickly as humanly possible. And then once you get to the top, then you can worry about shooting the eyes. If I can find the eyes. I actually might die here. Nope, should be good. So see what I mean? How I'm kind of bonking my head a little bit there? That's what's going to happen. If you do it that way, you are going to be a little bit tighter on time when it comes to dunking it. Like, I was on 1 ammo right there when I dunked it. It was a little tight. But that is another way you can do it. When you dunk the first one, you are going to spawn an unstoppable phalanx. We're just going to ignore it. My 2 teammates are staying back there. In fact, if you guys can just, like, stay in the corner, I want to see... No, it looks like you already aggroed the phalanx. So if your teammates do aggro the phalanx, you are going to have to kill it. So we'll just take it out real quick. But even if you don't aggro it and you don't kill it and you send your teammate to do this other side, it'll be okay, because when you do dunk the second orb and despawn all the enemies, the champion will not despawn, so you'll still be able to kill for platinum. In that situation, we just end up killing it, but not a big deal. They're still in the corner, just generally speaking, avoiding everything and being super safe, so it still works out. For this orb, it's pretty much the exact same as the original strike, other than the addition of there will be some taken, like, boops that'll happen. Like, you can see them right there. They don't really add too much difficulty. Like, they knock you around a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. Just make your way through. Not that big of a deal. That one's definitely the easier room, in my opinion. Invis Hunter is really nice. You can go invisible as you make your way out with your air move. Completely ignore all those enemies and whatnot, and yeah, just like that. Safely make it through that area. Neither of my teammates died to ads because they were never fighting ads other than the Shadow Thrall that were sprinting at them. Kill a couple of taken acolytes after you wrap up. Pretty simple. And the reason we play it like that is because there's some servile knights that'll spawn eventually, and they can be kind of a pain. So that's why I like to just have them in the corner, super safe. Once you get to this area, there's 2 bats that are in the sky that I like to clear right away. Once we clear those bats, we can hop across, and then you'll have a unstoppable phalanx, which my Steven obliterated right away. Because you're not time. No, you're fine. You're chilling. And then we have 2 more bats, and we'll make our way. Not a complicated area. Keep on moseying our way forward. And then we have this room where we'll have a Tangling Weaver. Take him out real quick. We'll also have a unstoppable phalanx that will spawn right in front of us. Just taking out all these enemies. A couple of acolytes that will spawn out some of the doors as well. Nothing crazy about this room. You can play back, take your time. Not a particularly hard area. Blink away at him. And he's toast. Now we're going to continue on to the next room. And I believe, is this the rough room coming up? I think. Yes, it is. So this room's really spicy. You do not want to jump into this room. Step 1 with this room is to just kill the bats and this taken Centurion from up here. You do not want to jump into this room. You will get squished by a bunch of Axion darts. So we're going to take out that Centurion. We're going to take out these bats right here. And we're going to hang tight. Once you kill the bats and the Centurion, we're going to go invisible and we're going to jump down to that platform right there. And then we're going to turn around 180 degrees and kill the other 2 Centurions that are going to be right below us. Kind of difficult to see them because of the lighting. But we're just going to smoke these 2 dudes right here. Because they are very lethal. Their Axion darts hurt very, very, very much. You can also jump over here like my teammate said. This is honestly probably the better area because you have more distance. And it's impossible for the Phalanx to hit you. But yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, probably jump over here, kill those 2 Centurions. Then you can worry about this unstoppable taking Phalanx. So yeah, this room's really brutal. So do not jump into it. Be very careful here. Once we get past that room, we are now at the village, where it's very wide open. You got a ton of enemies spawning, and the lava is going to rise as you go ahead and fight. I found that the easiest way to deal with this room was to go to the far right side of the arena and play the entire section from there. So I'm going to run all the way over here. Keep on running, keep on running, keep on running. And I like to play over in this area. Now, the number 1 enemies to prioritize are these taken Hobgoblin snipers, because they hurt very, very, very much. But I really like just playing the entire thing over on this side. Kind of hanging out over here, hanging out on this roof, flip-flopping back and forth. Always keeping my eye out for those Hobgoblin snipers that are going to spawn on the roofs. The rocket sidearms, dispatch them pretty quickly, but they hurt a ton. They always spawn in pairs of 2. So if you ever see one pop up, you know that there are 2 in total, no more, no less. So there's another one. Use the invis cooldowns to stay relatively safe against them as well. I actually just got blown up by one of them. So a little bit of an oopsie on my part. Probably should have just stayed in invis a little bit. Another fun fact is if you die anywhere in this arena, your orb will automatically get teleported to a particular location depending on your progress at this part of the fight. So my orb got teleported right there despite me being all the way over here. If you are progressed enough in this fight where the lava floor has been risen, then it'll teleport your orb. I'm going to show you guys in a sec. Trying to kill the Centurion first. Centurions are also very, very important to kill in this arena because they're Axion darts. But it'll teleport your orb right there. In this area, don't be afraid to use your heavy. Don't be afraid to use machine gun. Especially to dispatch the Centurions, to dispatch the Hobgoblins and whatnot. And the bats. The Centurions, Hobgoblins, and bats are definitely the main priority targets here. They hurt very, very, very much. So using your invis, playing safe, killing the Hobgoblins and whatnot. So as you can see, the lava floor has risen, so you're going to see Dusty's revive is going to get teleported right around here. At least I hope.
Yeah, we might be on our own till then.
Interesting. We'll see. Anyway, just continuing to dispatch the bats, the Centurions. Number 1 priority, as I said, those Axion darts hit like a truck. So we're just playing the invis cooldowns, using our heavy.
Oh, that's awkward.
That's okay. Worst case scenario, if you do die, I have invis. You can get an easy res on you.
I'm
But
okay.
yeah.
When I consecrated it, like, landed me in the lava. I'm surprised I didn't die.
Interesting. So just continuing to kill the enemies, kill the bats. Eventually you'll have the subjugator. You get it to, what is it? 1/3 HP. Then it'll despawn, nothing crazy. This is the area where you want to be willing to use your heavy. You want to be willing to use your super. You want to be willing to use all your abilities, all your special ammo. This is probably, in my opinion, the hardest room of the Grandmaster Nightfall. Could argue whether or not it's this area or the boss room, but I think this village area is pretty rough. Is that lava not draining?
Okay.
Oh. Cool.
That's not good.
Well, he'll get pulled to boss room, worst case scenario, so I guess we're going to be without him for a little bit. But that's all right. Because between village and boss room, it's nothing particularly difficult. At least in my opinion. We're going to go ahead and make our way here. Careful, that lava river right there. Does hurt very, very much. This room, you do have a champion that you want to kill. So I liked, you know, you don't want to deal with all these bats. You don't want to deal with that ogre. You don't want to deal with all that. So I like just running all the way over here to the... back left side of the arena. Coming all the way over here, and there's this nice little rock that you can kind of hide on. And you'll see the barrier knight over here as you look across the empty river. You can just plink away at him from a distance. Oops. Typically, we have 3 people when we're killing this guy. Crouch up a little bit. He's dead. And then you can go ahead and be on your way. Don't have to deal with that ogre. Don't have to deal with any of the grims. Nothing like that. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. And I believe we're in the boss room now, right? Once we're past that area?
Yeah.
That's the last area for the boss room. Which means Dusty should get pulled, which is good. So we're going to make our way into the boss room. Number 1 piece of advice for the boss room is prioritize it is adds above all else. You do not care about damaging the boss in any capacity if there is ever an add up. And so we'll kind of show how that plays in practice by fighting the boss room. This is where the void comes in absolutely massive, because there's a lot of void shielded acolytes. The graviton lance will absolutely shred through all of them, basically blow everything up. The shield damage will kill everything else, and it's pretty simple. You're going to have 3 total waves of enemies here, of acolytes and fire-breathing knights, and each wave will spawn one after the other. So I just kind of like to have someone on the back middle of the arena, someone on the right side of the arena, someone on the left side of the arena. So like I'm currently on right, Steven's on left, Dusty's in the back middle. And I just kind of like to hover back and forth. There's no lava at this point in the fight. The general rule for this area, at least in terms of like the lava that's on the borders of the arena and the backside of the arena, is that if the boss is currently in the arena, then the lava is not in the arena. And if the boss is out of the arena, then the lava is in the arena. So that's a good general rule. So I'm going to run back, kill that guy, go get Dusty. I believe that was our 3rd wave of ads. So now for this entire rest of this phase of the boss, we do not have any more ads to worry about. So you can just play it nice and safe. He's pretty much a non-threat when he's in this form, where he's not like charging you and jumping at you and whatnot. His void cleaves still hurt a significant amount. So definitely be very careful of that, especially if you're playing on PC where you have higher FPS. It's one of those FPS attacks. If you really, really want to get granular about it, you could come into your settings and cap your FPS to make it less likely that you'll get double damage by the attack or triple damage by the attack or something like that, because that is a thing in Destiny. I'm not going to do it because I want this guide video to actually look really good, but that is an option you could have if you're really, really scared of that. Wouldn't be too worried, though. Basic idea is you want to play around these pillars, and if he's looking at you, then just kind of hide behind it so that his void cleave doesn't hit you. Once you take out his shoulders, he's going to leave the arena. This lava river is going to fill up since he is now not in the arena, and we're going to get a bunch of new ad spawns. We are not going to worry about a single thing until we kill every single ad. We're also going to get an unstoppable phalanx that's going to spawn. So we want to be ready for that unstoppable phalanx. I believe he spawns in the middle, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there he is. So we're going to go ahead and take out that taken phalanx. I'm going to drop my tether. We're just going to kill every single ad. That's all we really care about. Gonna have some acolytes spawn. Once again, it's really not that bad. As long as you're on the move, you're playing cover. Making sure you sweep everything. And then, of course, if someone does go down, if you do get into a pickle, you have the Invis Hunter. Go ahead and go Invis, get everyone up. As you can see, it's really not that big of an issue when you have something like a Graviton Lance that's absolutely nuking everything, one-shotting all the acolytes. And then you just have the knights to worry about, which these knights, by the way, are finishable at 50% HP. So another good thing to keep in mind. So once you have 3 waves of enemies down, the unstoppable down, you got 2 more of the eyes to get. You're going to have Shadow Thrall that will continuously spawn. So my 2 teammates will just go ahead and take care of those Shadow Thrall while I go do these orbs. This is another point as well where this phase lasts an infinite amount of time. So if you guys do want to wait to charge your supers, you can. I'm not going to be as concerned about that. Also, just because I don't want to stretch out the time of this guide. But you could if you want to. On this right side, It's the same thing as the right side orb from the previous right side orb that we had in the strike, where you have to kill a bunch of acolyte eyes. So there's going to be a barrier right there that we can't walk through, but this time it's 3 sets of 5 eyes as opposed to 3 sets of 3 eyes. Still pretty easy. Nothing crazy. They do not shoot at you, so it's really not that bad. So I just like grabbing the gun, run into the barrier because it's the highest point in the arena, so I won't get hit by the lava. You just beam all of the eyes. Nice and easy. And the nice thing too is, if you do mess up those sections, it's really not that big of a deal. Your orb will pop back out. Your teammates can res you. You can give it another go. It's not the end of the world at all. Left side is pretty much the same thing as the left side from the previous arena. It's just a parkour area. It's really not that bad at all, to be honest. It's one of the easier ones. The only thing to look out for is the final area, like right before you exit the door. You kind of have to like squeeze yourself into this tiny airborne corridor with like a mantle. I'll kind of show you how it goes. It's pretty simple. It's really not bad at all. Just gonna go ahead and jump on through. It's right here, so you just kind of hop up, squeeze yourself in. It's genuinely not that rough. It's pretty easy, to be honest. And then gonna dunk the orb in. That's gonna bring back out the tormentor, and we're also gonna get new waves of enemies. Once again, all we care about is the waves of enemies. Careful about that knockback. That's gonna push you into the lava. The lava will despawn though, since the tormentor is back in the arena. But we're just going to get back to business, killing all of these trash mob acolytes. Go ahead and whittle down everything. Is this where we only get 1 wave of enemies, if I recall correctly?
Yeah.
I think so,
That
yeah.
right.
So that knight's dead. Is everything dead? Yeah. So that's just 1 wave of enemies. Super, super simple. And then you can go ahead and continue to pepper the tormentor. Once again, same as the first phase. He is a non-threat. All you gotta do is just kind of play around cover. If he's staring right at you, maybe get right behind cover so his void attack doesn't potentially one-shot you. Just gotta play safe. You can use your machine guns to make this a little faster if you have a lot of machine gun ammo. I personally like saving all of my machine gun ammo for the final phase, just because I like to use my machine gun for ad clear in that final phase. Since the tormentor runs around a little bit more, it's a little saucier, but it's up to you. It doesn't really matter that much. Once you kill the tormentor and phase him out, this is where the wizard from before is going to come into play. You're going to have a wizard spawn in the back of the arena, and its HP is going to be the exact same HP it had that you damaged it to when you originally ran into it. Meaning, since we got it absolutely one-shot, it's an insta-kill. And you don't have to worry about that wizard in any capacity. We are also going to get a barrier knight that's going to spawn behind us, if I recall correctly. Or is that the next phase? Yeah, champion has appeared. There he is. You're also going to have a barrier knight that's going to spawn at that same location. So we're going to go ahead and take him out. Nice and easy. Use your invis, use your supers, all that jazz. And we're going to kill every single ad. Once you kill that barrier knight and decent amount of enemies, you're going to get the subjugator from the village area that's going to spawn at the front of the room. Interestingly, he's full health. I've never seen that before. Usually he is 1/3 H. Oh, no, now he's 1/3 HP.
Yeah, he's a third.
Okay, he spawned at full health for me. I don't know why. But he'll spawn at a 1/3 HP because that's what you left him at when you originally killed him. And so you do a little bit of damage to him. He's a mini boss, so you can throw a shackle grenade at him, deal a little bit of damage, hit a finisher, and he'll drop the final Taken Essence Orb. Now, before I dunk the final Taken Essence Orb and continue the fight, I do want to talk about that wizard that we just killed. Obviously, if you leave the wizard very healthy, it's going to spawn in here very healthy, and it's going to be a real pain. If you kill the wizard on accident, instead of the boss Lucent Hive wizard spawning right here, it will instead be a full health mini boss regular wizard that you do not need to crush the ghost of. So the mini boss wizard is not that bad because you can just shackle grenade it or something like that if you want to. But by far the easiest thing to deal with is even though it's a boss wizard, is the boss wizard that you just got to put a couple of bullets into and then squish that ghost. That is exactly why we want to get that wizard extremely low, but we don't quite want to kill it. That's why we did that previously. That's the #1 way to deal with this area, #1 way to make it as easy as possible. Just get it nice and weak, nice and buttered up, so that when it spawns back here, couple bullets, squish the ghost, you're good to go. Now, this is where things get interesting. We're going to plug in this Ahamkara skull, and the Tormentor is in enraged mode, where he's going to start running around the arena now. He's going to start chasing us. He's going to start doing his jumps. Same as before, our only concern is ad clear until the ad stops spawning completely. It is a little bit more difficult because the Tormentor is running around and chasing you, but this is why I like to save the machine gun ammo, because the machine gun's a little bit more potent. So we're going to wait until he jumps down. Reminder, remember he's going to push you back a little bit, so make sure you're ready to jump so you don't get stuck in the lava. But we're just going to wait. You're going to keep your head on a swivel, make sure the Tormentor is never right next to you. Stay on the move, always keep an eye on where the Tormentor is, know where he is. And we're just going to use our machine gun to absolutely wipe the floor with everything. We're going to kill every single ad. We're once again going to get 3 waves and a champion as well. I believe this is an unstoppable, if I recall correctly. Yep. So we're going to use our supers. Also want to make sure that you and your team are never like clumped up or anything like that, because if you're all clumped up, then the Tormentor is 100,000% going to come to wherever the 3 of you are. One slam of the stick kills all 3 of you. Instant wipe. So just stay away from each other. Stay on the move. Keep an eye on where the Tormentor is. Take out that unstoppable. And kill all of the ads. I know it seems hard, but it's really not. You got no lava in the arena at this fight. You just kill all the ads. Stay mobile. Use your invis cooldowns as necessary if you're playing the Hunter. It's pretty simple. We're then going to DPS the Tormentor a little bit more. If you have someone die, though, we're going to stop damage entirely. This is where the FPS attacks are going to start to hurt a lot. You want to make sure you have all 3 teammates up, because as you damage him to about 50% of their remaining bar of HP, you are going to get another wave of enemies. So just something to keep your eye out for. But it's pretty simple. You just kite him around. It's really not that bad. Use the machine gun. Keep your distance. Be aware of those attacks right there, because they can one-shot you if you have high FPS. He does have a crit on the back as well, by the way. You can kind of see it striped on his... It's like right above his butt. It's like a tramp stamp crit, basically. But right there, once we got him to the T in his HP bar, spawn a couple more enemies. We're just going to worry exclusively about dispatching those enemies. If there are trash mobs up, we do not care about the boss. Using our invis cooldowns and whatnot, kill all of the enemies. I think we get another 3 waves, if I'm not mistaken. This is where the machine gun comes in super clutch. Nice and easy, nice and simple. Nothing dangerous about it. Kill that final knight. And I believe this is wave number 3. Gotta reload my machine gun. Just staying mobile, hip firing the machine gun, making sure we know where the Tormentor is, keeping our distance. And then once all those trash mobs are dead, you can just go ahead and DPS him and cook him until he's done. He'll put his hand up on occasion. That just means he's spawning Shadow Thrall. So, you know, keep a bit of an eye out for them. They're not that much of a concern, but like, you know, don't... This is why we stay on the move, so they don't catch us and overwhelm us or anything like that. So you stay on the move, DPS him. Just like that. It really is that simple. Definitely, I would say it's one of the harder GMs, but hardest GM ever made. I'm not sure about that. At least if you use these strategies. Definitely not bad whatsoever. So if you found this guide helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I do carries of the strike as well, live on my stream, twitch.tv/Mactics, if you can't find a group to do this with. If you, alternatively, Discord server linked in the description below is my community Discord server. We got an LFG channel in there where you can find people to run this with who have also seen the same exact guide, know the same loadouts and same strategies. Not bad at all. So, like I said, I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.